Hi and welcome to my channel. I'm Tori and today I'm going to give you my top 10 tips on how to stay motivated when you're out of work, especially when that happens a little later in life. So I worked for a large global business for 10 years until around 6 months ago when my whole team was let go. And it has been challenging since then. I've found that the job market has changed dramatically since I was last out of work. I've never been out of work for longer than around 3 weeks before, so it was a complete shock for me when I didn't instantly find a new job, and instead I just found myself feeling like I'd been thrown on the scrap heap. So I'm going to share with you now my top tips on how to stay motivated and positive, and the strategies that I've had to develop to do this and maintain good mental health. So my first tip would be to establish a routine. For me, this was probably the most important step because I had nobody relying on me to be at work and I had nowhere to be each day. My day just had no structure. And I'd spend most days, for the first couple of months at least, just sat in front of the computer mainly, searching and applying for job vacancies. And then I'd search throughout the day just in case new ones had been listed. And it became a little bit of an obsession, to be honest, and it wasn't healthy. And I found that even though I did nothing all day, I was constantly tired. And I knew that I had to bring some structure back into my life. Um, so I would advise to keep as much as of your old routine as possible, obviously minus going out to work. Um, but little things like I used to walk my dog before work, so now I make sure that I still do. I'm up and out between kind of 5:30 and 6 in the morning for a walk. Um, Make sure that you still get yourself up, shower, eat breakfast, and just be ready for the day. Also, maybe schedule some mates dates at a specific time each week, or a couple of days a week, and it gives you something to look ahead to. And it also gives you some company, which is a bonus, because I think being around other people is something that a lot of people miss when they lose the job. And I do feel that just having a routine like this can give you a more positive mindset. My second tip would be to set small, achievable goals. When I first lost my job, my only goal really was just get a new job. That was it. And of course, it didn't happen. Um, and when it didn't happen, it did knock me a little bit because I thought it was going to be easy. And it's hard not to take that personally. Um, but just getting a new job is a big task, and it hasn't happened, and it's ended in failure so far. So I just think you have to find ways to stop failing over and over again when you don't get that job. And now I set myself smaller goals, and the smaller goals will help you to achieve the bigger goals, the bigger long-term goals. So I set myself a certain amount of jobs each week to apply for. And this way, I set myself a goal to search for a new job, but I'm not spending a whole day doing it. Um, Other goals were things like update my CV. One goal was to draw up a list of people who might be useful to me, who I could network with. I'm also thinking of learning some new skills. So one goal for me will also be to research this. Maybe spend half a day looking into what skills will be useful or what skills I can brush up on to help me get that job. And I think these small achievements really can make you feel like you've accomplished something. I like writing a list each morning, and it's quite satisfying just ticking those jobs off as they're done. So, my tip number three is to invest in learning and developing new skills. There's a lot of online courses and workshops where you can enhance your skills, and a lot of them are free. If you search online for free courses, there are quite a few. And one of my next jobs is to look at the Open University, as they also have lots of free short courses. And I'm sure there'll be something useful to be learnt there. I have had a quick glance, um, and there are quite a few. There's courses in money, business, education, health and sports, nature. There was computing, languages, and there was quite a few more. So it's definitely worth taking a look through to see if there's anything that might help you and to either refresh the skills that you have or maybe to give you a chance to try something new and have a change of career. I'm 50 now, and because I haven't had any luck finding a job in my previous career or even securing um, just a small job just to pay the bills, I am thinking of a career change. Now, I have been put off a little by my age. You do think, is it too late? Am I too old for university if I want a complete change? But I have 20 something years left to work. So is taking 3 years out to go back to education worth it maybe? But again, going back to my previous point of setting small goals, I will be spending a day or two just thinking about the things I enjoy doing, what I would like to do, um, and just going through the pros and cons of retraining. And also to look at which careers are in demand. Obviously, the last thing you want after you've retrained is to become unemployed again. My tip number 4 is volunteering. So I haven't actually started volunteering yet, but I have looked into volunteering vacancies and I've applied for an admin and telephone based role with an animal charity. And I think that maybe, volunteering can possibly get back that sense of purpose, knowing that someone's relying on you to do your job. It'll obviously help the charity, but it might help me too. It'll also fill a gap on my CV. This job that I've applied for is a work from home vacancy, but if you enjoy being around people and that's one of the aspects of work that you miss, volunteering could be really helpful. Tip number 5, focus on health. So it's so important to prioritise physical and mental well-being, especially when you've been out of work for a while. And I think that, you have to feel strong and well if you're going to convince any future employers that you're capable of doing the job. So I'll do this through regular exercise. I walk twice a day with my dog. We love an afternoon walk through the woods. And I do find that just being out and among nature, it's so peaceful and it's so good just for putting things into perspective. And I find I always come back from our walks just feeling a little more peaceful and relaxed. I swim twice a week too, and this isn't particularly because I love swimming, but I meet a friend and we swim, then we'll have a coffee and a chat afterwards. So it's nice to have that routine and bit of company as well. Tip number 6 is create a vision board and visualize your goals and your aspirations. Having a visual reminder of why you're doing all these steps and of what you're actually working towards, it can keep you on track and it can inspire you if you're having one of those crappy days. Tip number 7, stay positive and reflect. Easier said than done, right? But surrounding yourself with positivity, whether it be through family and friends who are supportive, or podcasts, or self help books, this will definitely benefit you because positivity breeds positivity. Some people also find that keeping a journal helps too, just so that you can reflect on your thoughts and your feelings and your progress. If writing down any achievements, no matter how small, can lift you. And I also like to remind myself of things that I'm grateful for each day. My family, my friends, my pets, just, having somewhere beautiful and peaceful to walk. Reminding yourself of things you're thankful for and not just the negative aspects of life. Um, it can help shift your mindset to a more positive one. Step number 8, limit job searching time. So I know I've already mentioned this one, but I think it's really important to not let searching for a job take over your life. I had to limit and allocate specific hours for job searching to avoid burnout because it can easily take over. And in my case, the more I applied for jobs and the more was rejected, the more desperate I became, and it had such a negative effect. And you really do need to balance this with leisure and self care. Tip number 9, stay open to new opportunities. So I like to keep an open mind about different job roles or industries that I might not have considered before. Because being flexible might lead to unexpected opportunities that you might enjoy. And again, this goes back to just looking into courses and learning new skills. I think sometimes as well that we can miss opportunities because we become set in our ways or we hold ourselves back because we're scared of change. And it can stop us from taking new routes. Um, so I always like to keep an eye out and go for new opportunities. And my outlook now, after six months on the scrap heap, is I've got nothing to lose. So I might as well just go for it. Tip number 10, limit social media. So social media is great for networking. I've got loads of family and friends spread out across the world, and it's great for keeping in touch with them, but it can also be really distracting. And excessive scrolling can lead to negative feelings. We only see the positive sides of people's lives on social media. And if we're comparing our lives to theirs, it's just not healthy. So I would definitely set boundaries around social media and limit use and try and focus instead on the people around you and meaningful interactions and connections with the people around you. So those are my top 10 tips on how to stay motivated when you feel like you've been thrown on the scrap heap. I hope others might find some comfort or inspiration in them. Losing a job, especially later in life, it can be incredibly challenging and it can be a little scary. But I also think it can be a time for growth and a time to explore new opportunities. I personally do feel like the clock's ticking, and I feel like I have less time to spare if I am going to change career. And this can be a big pressure, so it's important to be able to deal with that pressure and try to remain focused and organised. If you found these tips helpful, please could you like and subscribe, and most importantly, if you could share your own experiences and tips in the comments below, that would be great. Then we can learn from each other and hopefully motivate each other. So thanks for watching, stay hopeful, and please don't forget to check out my next video. Take care now, bye.